ट्रांसफॉर्म करने के लिए, बॉडी बनाने के लिए, फिट दिखने के लिए कितना टाइम लगेगा? टू आंसर इट इन वन लाइन, आई डोंट नो। किसी ने 1 साल में जो अचीव किया वो किसी ने 3 महीने में अचीव कर लिया, किसी ने उसको 6 महीना लिया। पीपल हैव टेकन डिफरेंट timeline to achieve their different goals. Why is this happening? We will have to dig in a little bit deeper. First point that matters the most: how much dedication and determination are you showing? Your habits and behaviors are not just going to poof away. You will have to address it at the core. Previous to this, how active have you been? Did you take part into sports activity in your school, in your college days? Yes, your macro distribution matters, but the most important part about the plan is, have you made it sustainable? If you're seeing a fitness model on Instagram, maybe it's a actor, maybe it's your favorite superstar, we see another person's transformation and get lost in it without even analyzing what is that person's lifestyle. It's very impactful, but it is the least important of all. There is nothing much you can do about it to achieve XYZ physique, fitness goals. One person cannot compare it with another. You'll have to lead your own process, your own timeline. Start the process. It will be based on your achievement over the hard work that you have put in. The tracking is allowing you to have a realistic understanding of how much time. This one is a 3 month client transformation. This one took 3 months too. This took 6. This transformation took over a year. This 6 months, this one 3 months, and this one took us about 5 months. So you must be wondering, why am I showing you all these transformations? It's to answer one simple question that I get all the time from clients, especially when they are starting with me or signing up with me. It is, sir, ट्रांसफॉर्म करने के लिए, बॉडी बनाने के लिए, फिट दिखने के लिए कितना टाइम लगेगा? टू आंसर इट इन वन लाइन, आई डोंट नो. देयर यू गो, दैट्स द आंसर. Even if you're doing it all by yourself, we will have to dig in a little bit deeper. Let's start with the most obvious question that most probably have ran in your mind while you were seeing these transformation photos. People have taken different timeline to achieve their different goals. किसी ने 1 साल में जो अचीव किया वो किसी ने शायद 3 महीने में अचीव कर लिया. 3 महीने में एक जन बहुत ज्यादा, एक जन थोड़ा कम, किसी ने उसको 6 महीना लिया. सो व्हाई आर दीज चेंजेस? व्हाई आर दीज डिफरेंसेस? व्हाई आर देयर दीज डिस्क्रिपेंसीज? किसी ने कम टाइम, किसी ने ज्यादा टाइम. व्हाई इज दिस हैपनिंग? Let's answer those questions, and in that we will get to know why it is so difficult to answer this question कि कितना टाइम लगेगा. Or it is almost impossible to answer this question. Hi, this is Bishwet Bashak, and I'm a health and fitness coach, and I make a living by helping people live their healthiest and fittest life. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to yet another episode. Thank you for giving me the most valuable thing that you can give me, your attention. All I'm trying to do here today is to add some value to that attention that you're giving me. I hope this will give you the answers that you've been asking, maybe not me, to some of your friends or your coach, that kitna time lagega. Let's start with the obvious question, as I said, कि सबका ऐसे अलग अलग ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन क्यों है? किसी का सिमिलर टाइम में बहुत ज्यादा ट्रांसफॉर्म किया है, से इन 3 months, एंड किसी के 3 months में उतना ज्यादा भी कुछ नहीं हो पाया है, और किसी ने जो 6 महीने में कर लिया, किसी को वो करने में 1 साल या 1 साल से ऊपर लग गया. So why is this difference? What is it causing it? Let's start by assessing that. The first point that matters the most in this is your commitment to the actual process. How much dedication and determination are you showing it to this transformation that you want? Like, it might sound very cliche. How bad do you want it? And it is true. Unfortunately, it is true. If you really would want it, you would be committed to that process with everything that you've got. You have to understand कि आप wherever you are at, आप कहीं पे भी हो, good, bad, ugly, it's because of your habits and your behaviors which you have built up over a long period of time. If you don't like where you're at and you want to change it, and the only way you will be changing it or changing your future, that's the only way you can do that is by changing your habits and behaviors. And for that, you will need to be stubborn, because your habits and behaviors are not just going to poof away. You will have to address it at the core and be stubborn with yourself and take some hard decision against yourself who is wanting to be in that comfort zone. So that is where your actual commitment to that act comes into play. Now ye vary karta hai. Now this is something that varies from person to person. Some people can do it, have that switch mode instantly. Some people can't do it. Some people take time to get into that process. Some people take time to let go of those previous habits and behaviors. One person cannot compare it with another. You'll have to lead your own process, your own timeline, your own zone. That's the very foundation of why some people transform faster. If you're committed enough to the plan really hard right from the very beginning, obviously you're going to reap some results which are going to be much more phenomenal than the person who is unable to commit to it right from the very beginning. So that's one of the first reason, or the most important reason why there is this discrepancy. Now this brings me to my second point. चलो मान लेते हैं कि you are one of the committed ones, like you've got that committed part fixed. Okay, here comes a part about your activity history. What I mean by this is, previous to this, how active have you been? Have you been into weight training? Have you been into resistance training previously? For some reason you had to take a gap. Were you an athlete, or did you take part into sports activity in your school, in your college days? Did you play for some team? So how active were you throughout your life? That history is definitely going to come and either help you with the transformation that you want to do right now, or is not going to help you that much right now. So that is why you're going to take maybe a little bit more time. You've never done anything that is physically challenging previously in your life, and right now you're exploring that. That's great. That's fantastic. Good for you. But you might not move, or most probably will not reap the same benefits of a person who has moved for a larger part of his or her life. For example, this client of mine. Now this is literally like a 4-week transformation. Now for most people, as you watched it, you might think, how the hell is this possible? Your expectations are going to go wire. Like, can I do it? If he could do it, I could do it too. I'm sure you can, but understand one thing, or maybe you can't. You'll have to understand that this person has been training. He was in scouts most of his life as a kid. He's been trained in martial art. In the recent past, he trained very well. He built some muscles. He transformed himself already once. Unfortunately, during COVID, due to lack of activity, which happened for many of us, he put on some weight. But his body remembers. When he started his activity, when he controlled his nutrition accordingly and started training, his body responded very fast. Now most people will think this is a 4-week transformation. No sir, it's not a 4-week transformation. This person has a history of years of activity in his physique, in his body, in his memory. All that worked together to get him that fast for that transformation in 4 weeks. What you see as a 4-week transformation has taken him years to build up that memory in his body. Now that is something that you need to understand, and that's a very important factor here. The main problem happens is we tend to set our expectations according to these transformations that we see, and see these things, people doing it in 3 months or 6 months or 1 year or XYZ. And we tend to set our expectations based on what is to our liking. Like if I like that, okay fine, this could be done in a year, I would give it a year. You get excited that this person achieved it in 3 months, so oh god, I can do it in 3 months too. But no, that's where the real problem is. The answer is, you don't know right now. Start the process. Let's see where it goes. You will come to know. Now the next point which causes this difference in results is the actual plan. And you know what the most important part about the plan is? Yes, your calories matter. Yes, your protein matters. Yes, your macro distribution matters. But the most important part about the plan is, have you made it sustainable to you or not? Is it a sustainable plan or not? That's what the most important factor is, because it does not matter if you're following a very harsh diet today and that makes you crack and completely binge eat by the weekend or a weekend later and mess up the whole cycle of whatever you have been achieving. It's the little things that you do in an everyday basis and plan it out in an everyday basis that helps you stay sustainable and helps you gradually alter those behaviors and habits that caused this in the first place, is how you're going to achieve it. And planning it out is extremely important. You can go ahead and Google, or there are many other ways to find out what's the amount of calories you need divided between the macros that you can. The main part in that process of planning that you need to find out, or your coach needs to find out, it needs to be in a way that you can sustain. Because when you're going to start the process, you are obviously going to be very pumped up and really going to go all in, most probably. But that fire is most probably going to dry out, because this process is not going to be something that just ends in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. It's going to go on. Based on your lifestyle, based on what you can do, you will have to alter and move things accordingly and change that accordingly to make it sustainable for you so that you can follow it for a elongated period of time. That's how you're going to achieve, that's how you're going to change your behaviors and habits. And once those changes, your physique is just going to be a byproduct of it. Now, in what pace everybody can do that, that differs. Hence, the time that you're going to take to achieve something will also differ. This actually brings me to a sub point, which is lifestyle. What happens is, many a times we see another person's transformation and get lost in it without even analyzing what is that person's lifestyle. If you're seeing a fitness model on Instagram, maybe it's a actor, maybe it's your favorite superstar, you really want to achieve that. You've set yourself a very limited timeline and you're not even close to it. Within that timeline, you get into despair. You're like, mere se nahi hoga. Right? Maybe I'll never be able to achieve it. Now, why these things are happening is because that person's lifestyle is allowing that person to work in a specific way towards this goal of how he looks physically. Now, if we all have that similar kind of goal without analyzing what we can do, then we are going to be in a state of despair. Your goals does not give a damn about what you can or cannot do. If you can do it, you're going to achieve it. If you can't do it, you will not achieve it. It's as simple as that. But what you can do is understand or change your goals according to the lifestyle that, or the work that you can afford to do, that you can do by maintaining the balance of your life. Now, if that changes, again, the timeline in which you achieve these different levels of physical attributes that you're looking for, that timeline is also going to change. So keep that in mind, because it's heavily subjective. Here comes the last point, and it is genetics. Now, you must be wondering, why is it the last point? It should have been the first point, right? It's important. It is impactful. I don't deny that. It's very impactful. But it is the least important of all. You know why? It is because, good or bad, ugly or pretty, there is nothing much you can do about it. God's grace gave us, and there's nothing that we can change about that. But all the points that I spoke about earlier, your commitment, tracking your activity history and setting your expectations accordingly, making your plan sustainable, making the small changes in it to your behaviors and habits, being stubborn with yourself to cause those change in habits and behavior. These are in our hands. These are something that we can work on. I've seen so many. They are gifted with crazy resilience here. Maybe not that gifted physically, but crazy resilience here. They have all outdone somebody who is gifted here, but not that resilient here. So it does not matter. If you are gifted at something, you'll reap the benefits of it. But for that, you will need to be committed. You will need to have a good plan. You will need to track everything according to your standards, how you are progressing, make small amends, make changes in that plan, go ahead, track your progress. You have to put in the work. Gifted means nothing without the work. That's the reason why genetics is at the end. But it is definitely impactful. So it will definitely have some impact, maybe a huge impact on the timeline that different people are going to take to do XYZ transformation in their life. Physical transformation in their life, strength-wise transformation in their life, their health transformation, their fitness transformation. Genetics will definitely play a role. It is something where you don't lose your sleep on. The rest we can work on. So on that note, I hope you understand right now why is it so difficult to answer kitna time lagega. How much time will it take to achieve XYZ physique, goals, fitness goals? Why is it so difficult to answer this question? But if you work on yourself, work with a coach, and you keep tracking your progress, eventually you are going to also find out in a realistic manner as to how much you might take to achieve your goals. It will not be based on somebody else's achievement, but it will be based on your achievement over the hard work that you have put in and you've tracked it. Now you know, okay, fine, this much is what I achieved in 4 weeks. Maybe I should be able to achieve now this much in 8 weeks. So you see, the tracking is allowing you to have a realistic understanding of how much time. But you can't just go and ask and answer it straight away because it's subjective for everybody. On that, we come to the end of this video, and I would really like to thank everybody. Thank you for watching this video right till the very end. Thank you for your attention. It means a lot to me. Drop in a comment, let me know what do you think about this video. If this has added value and you think somebody else can benefit from it, please share. Let them know that it is not a one-way process for all. It's not a linear process. It changes based on difference in individuals and multiple layers of individuals, not just physically, mentally, lifestyle-wise. Lots of factors come into the play. And as a coach, we need to keep all these in mind to give out the most sustainable plan that we can for you guys. Thank you again for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.